Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over how I would build Flareon EX in the post-rotation format. Flareon EX, in my opinion, has a lot of potential, but there are different ways to build it, and today I'm going to be going over my preferred variant. With that being said, if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's the best way to help out the channel, and let's hop right into it. Alrighty, hopping into the two main attackers here, we have Flareon EX and Sylveon EX. Starting here with Flareon, Flareon EX is a 270 HP fire type stage 1 with two pretty powerful attacks. That first attack, Burning Charge, deals 130 damage, and you get to search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So this is going to be a great starting attack to be able to get energies onto the board, so you can use really powerful attacks like Carnelian, which deals 280 damage. Next up, we have Sylveon EX. Now, this is a card that isn't necessarily played in all Flareon decks. However, I think this card is absolutely critical. Sylveon EX has that Magical Charm attack, which deals 160 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 100 less damage. So you're able to tank quite a bit with this first attack, which is really, really nice. However, the Angelet attack is really what makes this card special. Angelet deals no damage, but it chooses 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon, and you shuffle those Pokemon and all cards attached to them into your opponent's deck, which is absolutely crazy. So, for example, if you're playing up against a Dragapult deck, and there's a Dragapult in the active that's attacking, and there's another Dragapult on the bench, you can simply Boss's Orders any non-Dragapult Pokemon, and then use that Angelet to throw both of the Dragapults back into the deck. It completely swings that matchup heavily into your favor. So Sylveon, really, really powerful card, and you can definitely catch people off guard with that Angelet attack. Next up here, we have Lillie's Clefairy EX. If you're looking for a card that can swing the Dragapult matchup, then Lillie's Clefairy EX is there to save the day. Lillie's Clefairy EX is a 190 HP Psychic type Pokemon with that Fairy Zone attack, which reads the weakness of each of your opponent's Dragon Pokemon is now Psychic, which means that Full Moon Rondo is going to be able to one-shot Dragapult EX. We also play Mew EX in this deck as well, so there is a opportunity, if you are able to power up that Mew EX, to copy Phantom Dive, deal 400 damage to the active, and then put 6 damage counters on a Duskull, taking half of your prize cards. So Lillie's Clefairy is a really, really good card in this deck, as it is easy to power up with cards like Crispin, and it does swing the Dragapult matchup even more into your favor. Next up here, we have Crispin. Crispin is pretty much the main supporter card that we're going to be using throughout the game. Crispin is a core energy acceleration card for this deck. This is going to be the main way that we can get energies on the board quickly, powering up our Pokemon. And we can power up our attackers in one turn, paired up with that Sparkling Crystal A-Spec. I personally have 3 in this list. This card is absolutely essential and is a great way to keep your attackers flowing throughout the game. Next up here, we have Black Belt Training. Black Belt Training is a card that hasn't necessarily been around for very long, but it is quite powerful. It reads, during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. Now, this is a 1 of in the deck. However, it is relatively easy to find with that Noctowl's Jewel Seeker, and it does open up one-shot opportunities on Dragapult and Archaludon. Yes, you can knock out a Dragapult with something like that Clefairy or Mew EX. The only drawback with that is that they don't necessarily have a whole lot of HP, so it's very easy for Dragapult to knock them back out. So if you are able to use a Flareon to one-shot a Dragapult, that's arguably better. Also, being able to one-shot Archaludon through that effect of Archaludon's attack, turning off its weakness, is really, really nice. Black Belt definitely felt like it is worth the inclusion in the deck and has been quite good. Next up here, we have Tapu Koko EX. This is another brand new card that is going to be releasing in Journey Together, and it pretty much is in here just to deal with the melodic decks. Tapu Koko's attack does 60 plus 20 more for each of your benched Pokemon, and it is a great melodic counter, being able to hit the melodic for weakness, taking easy one-shots, and it doesn't necessarily hurt that much to put in the deck because you already play Lightning Energies. I originally considered a card like Cornerstone to help out for the melodic matchup. However, the problem with playing Cornerstone is that then you have to play another type of energy. So since you already play Lightning Energies, having Tapu Koko just feels significantly better. Alrighty, here is going to be the deck list that I have built for the deck. I've been really enjoying it, and I think it has a lot of potential. So starting off here, we have the 4/4 Noctowl engine, just max consistency. Want to be able to get multiple Hootoots on the board and always have access to a Noctowl when you need it. We also got 2 of the Eevee 1 prize variant and also 1 of the Eevee EX. A big reason as to why we play the Eevee EX is that we can Tera Orb for it. It being a Tera is really, really nice. 2 Flareon EX as well as 2 Sylveon. The 2-2 split has felt totally fine. I don't feel like you need 3 of either of them because you can easily switch off, from attackers. You have a lot of versatility, so that has felt like the fine count. Also, you have Night Stretcher and Super Auto as well to get them back if you ever need a third one, but that normally shouldn't happen. 2 Fan Rotom as well with that fan call for consistency. Also have a Wellspring Ogerpon in here. Wellspring Ogerpon in this format is really powerful because cards like Manaphy have rotated, so you can use a early game Torrential Pump to really destroy your opponent's board state. Also got ourselves a Lillie's Clefairy and a Mew EX, as well as Fezandipiti and Tapu Koko. That Tapu Koko is absolutely fantastic at dealing with those pesky melodic decks. 3 Crispin as well, 2 Iono, 3 Boss's Orders, and 1 Black Belt's Training. The majority of the turns you're going to be using Crispin and Boss's Orders over and over again, but we still have some hand disruption in Iono and the option to use Black Belt's Training, so the supporter count has felt totally fine. Next up here for the item cards, we have 4 Nest Ball, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, along with 2 Tera Orb as well. This has felt fine. I haven't necessarily felt the need for a third Ultra Ball, but if you did want to add a little bit more consistency out of all the Ball Search cards, I would add an extra one of that, but 2 has felt totally okay. Next up, we have 1 Night Stretcher, 2 Switch as well. This is going to be to get out of Flareon's attack. Also just provides a nice flexibility as well, having those switch cards can pop up in some pretty critical situations, so it's very nice to have a little bit more flexibility. Also got that 1 of Glass Trumpet as well. Can be nice to put onto your Eevees. Can definitely catch some people off guard if you're able to pull off a big Glass Trumpet Crispin play. Power-up Pokemon out of nowhere can be pretty difficult for them to deal with, so Glass Trumpet has felt pretty solid in this deck. Also got 1 Rescue Board as well. Just having free retreat throughout the game has felt relatively nice. 1 Super Rod to be able to get those energies and Pokemon back. You do play multiple different colors of energies, so being able to put the ones you want back can be quite important. Next up here, we have Counter Catcher as well. Counter Catcher has felt nice because you oftentimes do lose a prize card at the very beginning of the game, so having access to Counter Catcher is quite good when you do fall behind. 1 Sparkling Crystal as well as the A-Spec. This card is absolutely crucial, very important in your functioning of the deck. Being able to attack much more consistently and early in the game is very important, and Sparkling Crystal definitely is the slam dunk A-Spec of choice. I really wouldn't consider any other one right now. Maybe Prime Catcher, but Sparkling Crystal feels like by far the best A-Spec to play in this deck. Then we also got 2 Area Zeros as well, being able to expand the board. You are playing a Tera deck, so getting a little bit more flexibility, being able to balloon your board up to 8 is really, really nice. Next up for the energies, we got 2 Psychic, 2 Fire, and then 3 Water. The reason as to why we play 3 Water is because we do have access to the Wellspring, so we have some more water options in this deck. So playing the 3 Water has felt like the best, third energy that you could play out of the full group of energies. And then we also got 2 basic Lightning Energy to round out the list. This deck, I think, has a lot of potential. I mean, the ability to be able to hit on the very first turn of the game is really substantial. I mean, you can just kind of run decks over. Also you have great comeback potential as well. With that Counter Catcher, you could potentially Counter Catcher, the threat onto the bench, use a hand disruption card and then use that Sylveon's Angelit attack to be able to fling them all back into the deck. You just have a lot of, kind of like wiggle room in certain situations, and I think the deck has a lot of potential. Also having a counter to Walls and Tapu Koko is really, really nice. So, overall, I think this deck has a lot of potential, but let me know what you think of it in the comments. Let me know if you think this deck is for real. I personally think it is. I think it has a lot of potential, and I expect it to do well moving forward. Anyways, that is going to do it today for the video. I appreciate all the support as always, and this is Smart TCG. I'll speak with you guys again soon. Peace out.